So this is a bit of a post-recording commentary on the Lebel rifle that I have created for hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Just a little bit of something to go alongside the footage that I have here of me using it in-game. The first thing I'll point out is how it was done. So this was a model and object replacement. So this replaces the triad muzzle brake in the attachments menu. All the code for this is using the Mosin Nagant base, so it has the same stats as it, the same muzzle velocity, magazine capacity, and the same ammo type, if you'll notice. Kind of the remnants of that is that I didn't overwrite the actual hammer on the Mosin Nagant. I sort of left it on there. One thing that you'll probably notice whenever I look at the top of the gun is that the sight leaf and the top of the gun have like a mix of wood and metal, which they really shouldn't. That was my bad. That was just something that I kind of screwed up when making it. I was just kind of making the texture within a few minutes because this was not... It wasn't really my first time making this gun. This is, I think, the third time I've made this gun. But this time I was trying to work on getting texturing and everything to work, like putting textures through custom loaded areas. So rather than simply putting the code through the attachment section with the gun itself, I tried to put textures through there too, as well as try to properly unwrap the materials, because the original model that this comes from contains multiple materials, which does not work in hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. All of the weapons simply have one material file to them. Each component isn't individually textured, which is what stuff like Blender will try to automatically do, is give everything its own material file. So this took a little bit longer than the show shat. At least it took a little bit longer than the first generation show shat that I made. It was a pretty simple process. It took me probably 2-3 hours to make the whole thing in general. You'll notice that there's still some parts to it that I need to iron out, like there's a bullet at some points that you can see when I load 5 rounds in. There's a bullet sticking out of the bottom. That's because it still has the magazine offsets for the bullets from when the Mosin would have them. There's a little dot that's probably not really noticeable, but it kind of floats around the gun. That was another mistake that I made. The gun functions just like the Mosin. I mean, that's what it's using the code from, so, you know, I could obviously edit it and change it and make it different. If I really had the time, I'd add my own ammo type and everything to it. I put 32 French long in there. But it's definitely been a fun project. I didn't expect it to work as well as it actually did, but it's extremely fun, and I'm sure that I'll have a different opinion on it if the Lebel rifle does eventually end up getting added to H3. Another part of the body that I probably should have mentioned is that you'll notice that the carrying hooks, or the sling mounts, they don't have jiggle physics to them. And that's kind of by choice. I didn't want to add jiggle physics to them just because of how lazy I am. I mean, there's really no other way to get around it. I just thought jiggle physics wouldn't really, add too much to it. But I don't know. It's been a fun project to work on, and I hope to get more projects like this out in the future.